This is K.M. Weiland, and you're listening to the 109th episode of the Wordplay Podcast. Speaking physically, you'd think writing would be one of the easiest jobs in the world. It sure beats road work, right? But this week, my body not only feels like it spent the last 7 days in an orange vest and hard hat, it also feels like it got run over by one of those steamrollers that are usually driven by the big, gnarly guys who wear those orange vests and hard hats. Between a nagging repetitive stress injury in my wrist and a nasty stiff neck, I'm about ready to insist writing be referred to as a high-risk job. When we laze about in a desk chair every day, it can be easy to forget that writers need to pay attention to their health just as much as everyone else. The good news, however, is that however bad our carpal tunnel or stiff backs may get, they're probably nowhere near as bad as the suffering we gleefully inflict on our characters. The August issue of my e-letter hit inboxes last week. It included the usual roundup of inspirational quotes, creativity jump-starters, and helpful links, as well as the article, The 2 Most Important Tricks to Build Suspense, and my response to a subscriber's question about using real-life people and places in fiction. If you're not receiving the e-letter and would like to, you can sign up for my mailing list on my website at kmweiland.com. That's WEILAND/mailing-list.php. You can read back issues online at kmweiland.com/e-letter-issues.php. The Cure-All for Long and Boring Narrative, the latest post in the video series on my blog, shows how Mercedes Lackey in James Mallory's fantasy, The Outstretched Shadow, cleverly tricked readers into being fascinated by their lengthy informative narrative. You can watch the video on my blog at wordplay-kmweiland.blogspot.com. New videos are posted every Wednesday. Meanwhile, enjoy this week's podcast. 7 ways to make family and pets respect your writing time. Writing time is precious. Once we're sitting at our desks, fingers poised over the keyboard as we wait to rendezvous with the characters we've been dreaming about all day, the last thing we want is someone barging into our solitude. Picture this. There you are, typing merrily away, the sweet violins of inspiration gliding along in the background, when, hark, a knock on the door, followed by a loved one's tousled head poking around the corner, wanting to know what's for supper. Screech. There go the violins. It's enough to make even the gentlest of authors go all homicidal maniac. So what can we do about it? Following are a few guidelines for getting friends, family, co-workers, and pets to respect your writing time, without your needing to resort to death threats. 1. Determine your priorities. If you don't make your writing a priority, why should anyone else? Before you can ask others to respect your writing, you first have to respect it yourself. Once you've determined your writing is worth sacrificing an hour of family time, don't allow yourself to feel guilty for making it. 2. Explain the situation. Don't expect others to realize the importance of your writing via telepathy. If you don't explain your needs to them, they'll never be able to respect them. You have to make a point of telling them your muse turns into Rip Van Winkle every time someone barges into your office. 3. Remain calm and kind. By the time the third person sticks his head around your door with that query about supper, those homicidal tendencies we talked about are going to be boiling close to the surface. But instead of losing it and screaming at your interrupting interloper, remain calm. Kindly, but firmly, tell them you're busy and ask them to wait to ask their questions until you've finished writing. 4. Set boundaries. If you can establish specific boundaries, you'll make it much easier for everyone to know where they stand, or where they shouldn't. Let people know you're going to be writing for the next hour. If they don't know you're writing, you can't blame them for accidentally interrupting. Make sure you balance your needs with their own. Tell them that if they leave you alone for this 1 hour, you'll spend the next hour helping them with their needs. 5. Schedule your writing. Schedules can not only increase your general productivity, they can also make it much easier for other people to understand and remember at what time you need them to leave you alone. I write every day from 4 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Because of my consistency with this schedule, friends and family have no trouble remembering when I'm writing, and therefore when they need to respect my need for quiet and privacy. 6. Work around your family. We can't always force other people into our molds, but we can work around theirs. Instead of jamming your writing into the heavy traffic zones of your day, work around other people's schedules. Get up early, stay up late, and stay at home when the others are out of the house. 7. Buy a flamethrower and a machete. Finally, when all else fails, and people being, people, it never hurts to invest in a high-quality flamethrower and machete. Keep them under your desk and give them a little pat, accompanied by a knowing look, whenever somebody comes barging in. This one's fail-safe, folks. Oh, and by the way, I lied. These tricks may work on your kids, but you're on your own with your cat. Thank you for listening to the Wordplay Podcast. To read a transcript of this episode, visit me on the web at wordplay-kmwyland, that's weiland.blogspot.com, and be sure to listen again next week.